Hi everyone, this is Sandy with Sandy's Crafty Creations. Welcome to my tutorial on the camera box, on how to assemble it, following the written tutorial that you purchased. First I'm going to go over the chipboard pieces that you need to cut for the box. All the dimensions and the number of pieces are in your written tutorial in the PDF file. You're going to need one 8" by 8 3/4 for the front camera piece, and then we're going to cut this part out a little bit later. For the back of the box we need an 8" by 8". For the side we're going to need two 6 1/8" by 8", and then we're also going to cut out this little section later. For the bottom you need a 6 1/8" by 8", which is the same size as the sides. There'll be no cutout on that. For the front with the slot, we're going to need a 3 1/4" by 8", and we will cut the slot out with a knife later. And then the top of the slot front we need 8" by 2", and then we need, for our Polaroid section that comes out of the slot, we need an 8" by 3 3/4", and just set that aside. Now all the chipboard pieces are cut out of heavyweight chipboard, and I have a special cutter. If you don't have a heavy-duty guillotine cutter, then you're going to need a ruler and a knife, and you can cut it out with your ruler and your knife. You're also going to need hinges, and for the say cheese project you're going to want to probably use black. You can use craft or black. I'm going to use black for mine, and all of these are cut 1.5 inches wide, and then you're going to cut them into the lengths as designated in your tutorial, and each one is scored in half, which would be scored at the 3/4 inch mark. So I have a couple here that I'm going to show you, and let me get my scoreboard. And I like to use this short bone folder for scoring, but these are all same width, 1 1/2 inch. Then you score them at the 3/4 inch mark there, like that. You'll do all of the hinge pieces the same. Then you will take 1/2 inch score tape and apply it to the center of each half on each side of the score line. Let me show you a little trick with another bone folder that I like to use. I don't have fingernails. They drive me crazy, so I cut them short. I put this down like this to save time and to get it straight, so you don't have to use scissors. Just put the flat in there and tear, and it tears it pretty straight, straighter than I can tear it with my fingers. And again, put score tape on each hinge, just on one side. In other words, you don't have any on the opposite side, just on this side, on each side of the fold line. Do not put it over the fold line. That's really important. You want to be able to fold your hinges in half so that you have tape on each side of the hinge. These are finishing hinges and construction hinges, and again, the lengths of them, they're all 1.5 inches wide, scored at 3/4, and the lengths are going to be in your tutorial guide for assembling the box. Okay, let's get started on the box. You're going to need wet glue and your hinges. I like to use the Scotch Quick Dry Glue. And let's go ahead and cut with our knife these pieces first, so that they'll be ready to go. So you need your ruler. Okay, on the side pieces that are 6 1/8 by 8", you need to measure in 4.5 inches down and put a mark. Get a pen to show you. So you would put a mark here, and then measure over 2 inches and draw a line. Measure over 2 inches at the top, so this is squared up. Put a mark, and then draw it down to the line down here. Draw a line. Do this on 2 side pieces, And then next we're going to cut it out. Okay, to cut it out, get your ruler and your craft knife and line it up. And if you have a really sharp knife, stop at that line and just make your cut. Turn it and make the shortcut. I'm going to turn the ruler so I can see where the 2-inch mark is. So don't go past that. Make a couple of passes with the knife to make sure that you've gone all the way through. I may need a new blade. That one's cut. And I'm going to cut this one at 4.5 here. Okay, I need to clean that up just a little bit in there. Didn't quite get it in there. Sometimes you might have to use your scissors. The Tim Holtz scissors work really good on chipboard, so. Okay, there's that one. And then we do the same as to the other. We're going to cut it here. Turn and cut the 2-inch line. This is the L shape on the sides of your camera box. Kind of got off the line just a little bit there, so I'm going to straighten that up with the scissor right here. So I want to keep that pretty straight. Okay. Next, on the camera front piece, we need to cut out the section that sticks up for the viewfinder. I started to say lens, but that's not the lens, it's the viewfinder. So this is 8 inches wide. So the first thing I did was take my ruler and put a mark at the half mark, which is 4 inches. And then I measured over 1 inch to each side, 1 inch and 1/8, and marked here. And then I placed those lines like that. Now we're going to do a little angle cut. So I measured from the straight line 1/4 inch and put a mark, 1/4 inch from each line to the inside, and then position your ruler from the point here to the 1/4 inch mark and draw a line. This is what we're going to cut away where I've darkened it. Again, put your ruler at the 1/4 inch mark on the outside on the line, and the 1/4 inch mark on the inside. Bring it down to the corner point, draw a line, and then we're going to cut out this dark part. So this is pretty small, and if you have the Tim Holtz scissors, these work really well on small sections or curves that you need to cut out. See that with the little scissors? These are the Tim Holtz. I just don't think I could craft without them. These are really, really sharp. So I just cut that out. And that's going to give us that piece. Now we need to take the ruler and cut this line out right here along the line, and our craft knife, and just slice that off. Okay, and again for the other side. And this makes, like I said, the viewfinder of the little camera box. Also, we can cut the slot, and I haven't pre-marked this out, the slot in this front piece here that's going to be the front of the box where your Polaroid picture comes out. So this is 8 inches, so let's get our 4-inch mark for the center right here, and then we're going to measure this away. This is 3 1/4, so the center is 8. I have to do math. I don't like to do math. So 1 1/2 is half of 3, and then 1/8. So 1 5/8. Let's get a mark right there. So this is the center right here. Now then, we're going to need a slot that's about, it's going to have to fit our Polaroid piece. So we can lay that there. We want it just a little longer than that. So we center this, which is 3 3/4, so that's that 1 1/2 for your 3 and your 3/4. That's a half right here at the 1/8. No, that's not right. 3 3/4. So this looks like about half. So measure about halfway. So this, draw your line on the center line, the length, the width of your Polaroid section, like that. And then I'm going to make it, let's make it about 1/4 inch longer. Oops. On each end. Okay. So just add 1/4 inch right there. Now then, we want to make this, I want to make sure that it can come in, and let's see. Let's make this about 3/8 wide. Wide, and this will be covered with paper. So we'll do this right here. Now then, let's line this up with your ruler and draw. And then on the other side. So this is going to be about 3/8 inch wide by about 4 1/8 lengthways. This is what we're going to cut out here. Mine's not centered, is it? So we're going to have to redo that. I told you I can't do math very well. So I want this the center, and I want it 4 1/4. So 2 1/8 is my center mark. So we need to move it to 2 1/8 right there. So I was about 1/4 of an inch off on the left side. So no problem. Don't think. So we'll move it that way. We want it 4 1/4, so that's going to put it right here. It's kind of messy. Can't see it very good, huh? Right there. Okay. You're going to make yours a whole lot better, right? Hope that's not too confusing. Okay. Make sure we're getting the right length. 4 1/4. So this line right here. So I'm going to cut the long ones first. And you're going to have to make several cuts with this. To make sure it goes all the way through. Okay, I think it shows it there. Okay, and then we're going to put it here. And again, this slot is for your Polaroid photo to come out of the camera box. Get that all the way through. Cut the end. And this end where I messed up, make sure I get the right line. I'm going to cut this out in the center here to get it, make it easier to get to, and if I have to, finish it with my scissors here. And like I said, it's going to be covered by paper, so don't fret too much over it being perfect, because it's going to be covered. Okay, and then this side to just this line. Okay, and here. Clean that up just a little bit right there. Okay, now that's the slot piece. Okay, now we're ready to do some assembly. We have our hinges ready, we've got our glue ready. See if it's opened up. Okay, let's take our back piece and our sides. Okay, so let's lay this down. Take the sides, move some of this out of the way so we can see better. So you're going to have it looking similar to this at this point here. You see all that in there? So you need a couple of the 8-inch hinges. And let's go ahead and peel the backs off. And you're going to fit this in to the hinge, fold. Line it up as straight as you can. Oops. If you don't have it perfectly lined up, take your bone folder and burnish a new fold for that, because you want the actual chipboard line to be the square part. Okay, then we take the back piece and fit it in there like that, and stick it down and burnish it. Okay, that's going to be the back, so we'll do the other side the same way. Take an 8-inch hinge, score it in half with the hinges to the inside, peel the backing off. Position this to the fold line. Don't let it stick until you're ready. There we go. And again, if you didn't get it on straight, right up against that fold line, then go ahead and burnish it to create a new fold line with that hinge. Okay. And then put the other L, make sure that the L's are facing, both facing the same direction. Okay, there's the back of our camera box. Okay. Next we're going to put the camera piece in here. This gets a little tricky here. This does not go out here, it goes to the back here. Okay. So we're going to have to use a shorter hinge. But before we do that, let's go ahead and put glue in here in this seam. This is to make it stay together better. I'm going to have to get something to poke the glue bottle. It's always drying up on me. There we go. So let's get the glue in to that seam there. And pull these up together and hold them in place. Okay, we're going to let those dry a little bit and go ahead and get the hinges ready on this one. So I'm going to need hinges, 2 hinges that are about 4.5. So I have mine mixed up, so I'm going to have to measure them. Normally I organize these a little bit better than I did for this video, but there's one, 4.5 and 4.5. Okay, go ahead and score those so that the tape is to the inside. And let's take this front piece and attach a hinge from the top edge down. So only down 4.5 inches on the fold line like that. And the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and burnish these. Make sure they stick good and burnish that fold line along the edge of that chipboard. Okay, let's see if that holds enough now. Okay, this next piece, we're going to fit this in. So we want to pull the tape off. Go ahead and pull it off each side. And you're going to fit this along the fold of the hinge, right there, and attach it. Make sure it sticks. Burnish the fold. And then let's do it on the other side. Fit put that in, drop that in, and stick it down, and burnish. That gives us this construction here.